What's up, guys? Stas here. So earnings are officially in from some of the biggest companies in the world, including Microsoft, Google. We're also going to break down Intel and Snapchat in this video, and we're going to go over Meta's earnings as well. Even though those came out yesterday, it's still very relevant to this video. So if y'all find value, hit the like button, make sure to subscribe, and you might as well get your 10 fractional shares of the Mag 7 stocks for Moomoo by using that link down below, checking out the QR code right here, or by going to stassurefest.com/Moomoo. Get your stocks, guys. And with that being said, let's dive right into the video. So at this point, you guys probably know that the entire stock market was red today. The Dow, the S&P, the Russell, the NASDAQ, and a lot of the red came in the morning. You guys can see SPY in the morning was at $497 per share, and we had Triple Q at around, let me see here, guys, bear with me, $418 per share in the morning. And the thing is, all of these closed pretty, pretty heavily. I don't want to say heavily in the red, but they all were red, and they crawled out of deeper red from earlier today. So that means earlier in the morning, guys, we were heavily in the red across the board on these indexes, and we actually crawled our way kind of out of that hole. And now after the bell with the tech earnings that we just got, we are moving like crazy. Triple Q closed at 424.45, and now we're pushing 430 after the bell. So in other words, we're up 1.2% after the bell. So just like that, guys, we are in the green on Triple Q on the day, which is nuts if we're including the aftermarket pop here. And SPY is up. Let me show you here, guys, and then we'll dive into the actual earnings. SPY closed at 503.50, and now it's at 508, pretty much up almost 1% here after the bell. So we're making a big move, and this is because of earnings from Google and Microsoft. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, I did take a peek at these stocks, and let me tell you, man, Google is on fire. And typically I like, doing the live reaction to the earnings, but man, I had to take a look because Google is my biggest individual stock holding. And look at what is going on here, guys. This thing closed at $157 per share, and now we're over $177 per share after the bell, up $20. And again, this is my biggest individual stock holding. You guys see the smile on my face? I'm loving this thing, man. We are up 13% right now after the bell. So Alphabet, also known as Google, and by the way, they were down 2% on the day. Isn't that crazy? But Google reported, let me see here, $1.89 GAAP EPS, which beat the $1.51 expected, and they also beat on sales by a wide margin, $80.53 billion versus $78.59 billion expected. So they crushed EPS, they crushed sales, right? And it looks like here, looks like the board authorized repurchase of additional $70 billion of Class A and Class C shares. It looks like here Q1 cloud revenue $9.57 billion versus the $9.38 billion expected. All right, very good. Google advertising revenue $61.66 billion. Looks like operating margin 32%. Google search and other revenue $46.16 billion. Google ads, YouTube ads revenue $8.09 billion. Pretty good there. And it looks like here, look, they beat on all of these segments, guys, literally. YouTube ads, $8.09 billion. That beat the $7.7 billion expected. Search and other revenue, $46.2 billion. That crushed the $44.9 billion expected. It looks like here they declared a dividend of 20 cents a share. Holy crap, look at that, guys. Dividend of 20 cents, which, guys, Google is not a dividend company. Well, I guess they are now, which is pretty interesting. Again, I'm not a dividend investor, but I am a shareholder here of Google. It's my biggest individual stock holding. So I guess now I'm going to be getting a dividend, guys. Can't complain. But yeah, that's a quick breakdown here of the earnings. Quick little breakdown. Very brief. and we're taking off. Again, breaking completely out of this channel on the 4-hour chart, which is awesome, guys. And am I selling any of my Google stock? Absolutely not, guys. There's no way, baby. Now, am I buying more? No, I'm not, but I'm going to be holding on to my position. And you guys probably know this has been my biggest individual stock holding for years, and I actually added to the position on this dip in the 130s, low 130s, and oh boy, am I glad that I did that. So we also got earnings from Microsoft, and their stock is up as well. It looks like here $15 per share after the bell. So it looks like they did GAAP EPS of $2.94, which beat the $2.82 expected, and they also beat on revenue, $61.9 billion versus $60.8 billion expected. So double beat there out of Microsoft. It looks like Q3 cloud revenue was $35.1 billion. Cloud revenue increased 21%. Looks like productivity and business processes revenue increased 12%. More personal computing revenue increased by 17%. Pretty good. And it looks like here, Q3 cloud revenue at 26, or intelligent cloud revenue, $26.7 billion, which beat the $26.2 billion. So it looks like all of these segments, guys, are beating, for Microsoft and for Google. And now we're getting back over $400 per share on Microsoft. It looks like we're getting back over the moving averages for the first time in a couple of weeks here on the 4-hour time frame. Really, in the last couple, it's been about 1 or 2 weeks since we've been above the moving averages. Now we're back over at least the 50 SMA. We broke over the 180 SMA, about 20 minutes ago. So we'll see if Microsoft continues this momentum, guys, which, you all know at this point, this stock has been crushing it. That's no secret. So earnings are out. Microsoft is moving. Awesome. And Meta, which they came out yesterday, I'm sure you guys saw, Meta stock went down 11% today, and at one point it was down even more. You heard that right, guys, even more. Closed at $4.94, I think, yesterday, and at one point it was at $3.99. That was a drop of almost 20%. So Meta's earnings, again, they came out yesterday, but let me look at the headline numbers very quickly here, if they're even showing them. Yeah, it looks like they're so far back on the live news tab that I can't see the earnings, but they actually beat on EPS and on revenue, but the guidance wasn't, let's say, as crazy good as expected for revenue, I believe, and that's why we're seeing the drop off. But it does seem like, as of now, and it is kind of early, but it seems like we are consolidating and starting to rebound a bit. So we'll see if that holds, if that continues here on Meta. And we also got earnings out of Intel, guys, INTC, which this stock is down $4 per share, it looks like, after earnings came out, around $3-4, roughly $3-4, or about 9%. So it looks like Intel reported, let me see here, guys, 18 cents adjusted EPS, which beat the 14 cents expected, and sales missed $12.72 billion versus $12.78 billion expected. So beat EPS, missed on sales, and it looks like here, Intel sees Q2 EPS of 10 cents versus 24 cents expected. Oof, on revenue of 12.5 to 13.5 billion versus 12.68 billion expected. So not the best for guidance there, if you ask me, guys, at least for EPS. And again, they missed on revenue for the last quarter, and that's really all it takes for this drop to happen and for the downtrend overall here to continue, which we've been in a downtrend for quite some months on this stock, right? So that's a quick breakdown on Intel. And the last one, which I did also peek at earlier, is Snapchat, ticker symbol SNAP, which this stock is known for making crazy moves during earnings, and well, it's doing it yet again. Last time they reported, the stock went from $17 all the way down to $11. In other words, it collapsed, and now we're actually doing the opposite. We closed at $11.40. Now we're breaking out to $14-15. We're up almost 30% after the bell. So Snapchat reported numbers, and it looks like they did adjusted EPS of 3 cents, which beat the negative 5 cents expected, and sales also beat 1.19 billion versus 1.12 billion expected. So they beat EPS and they beat on sales, and it looks like here Q2 revenue they see 1.22 to 1.25 billion versus 1.14 billion dollars. And it looks like here Snap Q1 daily active users at 422 million versus the 420 million estimate that was expected. So we're getting that big move here after the bell on Snapchat, and pretty much all these stocks that we talked about today are moving to the upside except for Meta and Intel. A little less than half of them, right? And for me, guys, I don't even own Meta and Intel. I actually own Google. So for me, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. But let me know in the comments about how you're doing right now with these stocks. Do you own any of them? Are these or any of these your biggest individual stock holding? Let me know in the comments. Hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe and get your 10 fractional shares from Moomoo of the Mag 7 stocks with at least a $100 deposit by using that link down below, checking out the QR code right here, or by going to stocksurfest.com/Moomoo. And if you guys want to see me build out my Patreon portfolio, which is a $100 per week portfolio, you get all my buys, sells, all my returns, full transparency, all of that's on Patreon down below. You get a bunch of other perks for signing up as well. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video.